There are moments in life when you hear nothing. No words, no anger, no apologies. Just silence. It's the kind of silence that happens when someone stops seeing you. Not because they hate you, but because you no longer command their respect. And that emptiness, it's heavier than any betrayal. Hatred, at least, acknowledges your existence. Indifference erases you completely. Most men never notice the exact moment they stop being taken seriously. It wasn't a fight. It wasn't a betrayal. It was something smaller, more subtle, deadlier. A fracture in their sense of presence. A quiet collapse of their direction, of their center. But before we go deeper, if you've ever felt like your world was falling apart and you still chose to stand tall, then this channel is for you. Subscribe, because what we talk about here isn't just empty motivation. It's the truth that forges you from the inside out. Respect can't be asked for. It's projected. And it comes from only one source: your ability to stay centered when everything around you is falling apart. The Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius wrote during war and plague, "You cannot control what happens, but you can always control how you respond." That wasn't just a pretty quote. It was a manual for spiritual survival. A man who can't master his own reactions, who collapses under the smallest bit of chaos, doesn't inspire respect. He inspires pity. Because if you can't govern yourself in the daily storms of life, how could you ever hold on to something greater than you? Women sense this instantly. They don't analyze it. They feel it. They know when they're facing a man who stands firm, and when they're facing one who's hiding behind a smile that's about to shatter. A truly strong man isn't a cold statue. He's controlled fire. He can feel anger, desire, fear, sadness, but he doesn't let those feelings drive him. The psychologist Carl Jung called this integrating the shadow, facing the darkness inside you, not to destroy it, but to transform it. What you deny controls you. What you accept sets you free. A man who integrates his shadow doesn't have to pretend to be strong. He simply is. He doesn't react. He decides. He doesn't beg. He observes. He doesn't chase approval. He builds. And when that kind of presence enters a room, everyone feels it, even if they can't explain why. But here's the trap many men fall into. They mistake this stability for being rigid. They think strength means suppressing every emotion. That's not strength. That's fear wearing armor. The man who shuts out pain also shuts out love. And a man who can't feel can't lead. The Roman philosopher Seneca understood this while in exile. Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. True strength isn't resistance. It's flowing with life without losing yourself in the current. Respect begins where dependence ends. Picture a man whose entire world revolves around a woman, his mood, his plans, his very identity all orbiting her attention. That's not love. That's emotional captivity. And no one respects their own prisoner. Respect is born when she senses you could walk away if you had to, that your life would stay whole even in her absence. Not because you don't care, but because your life already has its own direction. The philosopher Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Your purpose, your discipline, your personal mission, that is your why. Without it, you'll break under every how. A respected man doesn't build his strength in public. He forges it in silence. In the workouts he doesn't skip. In the promises he keeps to himself when no one is watching. In the boundaries he maintains when it would be so much easier to just give in. Aristotle called this the habit of character. You are not what you do occasionally. You are what you do consistently. Every choice, every word, every gesture is a single brick in the invisible architecture of respect. But here it's the deeper truth. The respect you get from others is only a mirror of the respect you have for yourself. Every time you tolerate what you know you shouldn't, every time you betray yourself just to please someone else, every time you stay silent when you should speak up, you are casting a vote against yourself. And eventually, the world starts to vote the same way. The philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre called this bad faith, living as if you have no choice, when in reality, you're just afraid to choose. Respect is the direct consequence of courage. The courage to stand firm. The courage to lose if necessary. Because yes, respect is born from the willingness to let go. Only those who sense that you could walk away can truly respect you. Dependence kills desire. Freedom revives it. This is what Kierkegaard called the leap of faith. The moment you choose your own truth, even if it feels like it could cost you everything. And when you make that leap, something shifts. She no longer sees a man bound by fear. She sees a man who is free, and a free man is magnetic. But here's the final secret. Respect is never the goal. It's the byproduct. When you stop chasing it and start living with brutal authenticity, respect comes on its own. The Stoics practiced something called premeditatio malorum, imagining every possible loss in advance, not to be pessimistic, but to be prepared. When you've already made peace with the worst possible outcome, you move through life without fear. And when you act without fear, you act from your true center. That is the state of a respected man. He's not free from problems. He's free from the fear of them. So if you feel you've lost someone's respect, don't search for it in their eyes. Look for it in the mirror. Ask yourself, am I being the man I promised myself I would become? Am I building a life that would still have meaning, even if no one was there to applaud it? Because in the end, the only respect that truly matters is the one your own conscience gives you when you close your eyes at night and know you didn't betray yourself today. That respect never fades. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, subscribe and join us. We're building something real here.